Welcome in, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning into our YouTube channel here at FantasyPros. I am Lauren Carpenter, and today we are going to be talking about 5 burning questions heading into Week 8. And with number 5, are there any defenses that we should be looking at in terms of run funnel and in terms of pass funnels? And yes, actually, there are 8 teams that stand out in terms of both of these different types of metrics. So when we are evaluating these teams in terms of defense against the rush and defense against passing, we're going to look at expected points added per play and success rate. So when it comes to the run, there are 4 teams that are right at the bottom. They are the Chargers, Jets, Eagles, Steelers. So when you are taking a look at who you should start and sit in your lineups, or when you're looking at who you should target in DFS, start your running backs against those 4 defenses. And if we use these same parameters in terms of drop backs, there are an additional 4 teams that we should be looking at when we are figuring out who we're going to start for our quarterbacks and our pass catchers. That includes wide receivers and tight ends. And those 4 teams are the Chiefs, Washington Football Team, Texans, and the Jaguars. So again, you're going to want to target quarterbacks and pass catchers in terms of those defenses, again, for your starting lineups and also for DFS plays. Number 4, are there any young running backs that we should be targeting in trades? And the answer again here, yes, there are 2 of them. Javonte Williams and Michael Carter are 2 players that really stand out here. And what we want to look at are talented running backs that really haven't gotten much volume yet. Now, we're going to take a look at Pro Football Focus's elusive rating when we want to look at these young running backs. And Javonte Williams ranks 2nd in the NFL in this category. And the Broncos are utilizing him in every facet of the offense. Yes, he is still going to be competing against Melvin Gordon. That really isn't changing yet. However, Williams is only 1 injury away from being a fantasy workhorse, or he could possibly just win this role outright rest of season. Either way, Javonte Williams is a great trade target when you are looking at trading for young running backs. And Michael Carter of the Jets. I know the Jets offense isn't exactly explosive, which will limit Michael Carter's upside. But in this elusive rating metric category from Pro Football Focus, Michael Carter ranks 10th. And he is seeing a ton of volume recently. In fact, last week, he saw 71% of the snaps against the Patriots. Also, his passing down work is beginning to grow as well. Again, upside is going to be limited here simply because of their offense, but he's a pretty cheap option in terms of volume, which is what we know in fantasy football, volume is king. Number 3, what on earth happened to the Panthers offense? I know Christian McCaffrey is hurt. There's really no way we can get around that one, and he is the integral part of this offense. But they were doing okay when McCaffrey was sidelined. So what happened? Well, wide receiver Robbie Anderson has been a disappointment. In fact, out of 20 targets, he has only converted that into 25 receiving yards. That is ridiculous. Wide receiver DJ Moore started the first 4 weeks as the wide receiver 4. And in weeks 5 through 7, he is now the wide receiver 34. During those first 4 weeks when he was the wide receiver 4, he was averaging 18.7 points a game, and that dropped all the way down to just 8.3. Yuck. And Sam Darnold, he had some opportunities there. He used his legs when Christian McCaffrey was sidelined, but that was it. And he really hasn't done much with it moving forward. In fact, he ranks dead last in quarterback EPA per play. He is also 29th out of 30th in completion percentage over expectation. And he was also benched in favor of PJ Walker last week, so there's that. So Carolina has already said that they're going to stick with Sam Darnold, but until Christian McCaffrey returns, the only 2 viable fantasy options you have on this offense are possibly wide receiver DJ Moore and Chuba Hubbard. Number 2, is Deandre Swift for real? It may come as a surprise, but Deandre Swift really isn't that great of a runner in terms of real football. In fact, Next Gen Stats has him ranked dead last in terms of success rate as a rusher. And Pro Football Focus has him ranked 60th out of 65 qualifiers. However, he ranks 5th in fantasy points per game, and that is thanks to his 42 receptions so far this season. An amazing rusher? Maybe not, but that doesn't matter for fantasy when you can catch the football. Pro Football Focus has him with the 5th best receiving grade. He may not be lights out for real football in terms of being a strict running back, but he is a dynamic option in this offense and a surefire RB1 moving forward. And number 1, has Kyle Pitts officially arrived? And yes, welcome to the NFL, you unicorn, you. I'm going to refer to these stats here, so instead of looking at the lens, I'm going to look down at this so you can hear just how amazing Kyle Pitts really is, as we all expected and wanted him to be in this season. And it's not just about his 16 receptions for 282 yards and a touchdown. There's even more that goes into just that flat baseline, if you will. His targets per route run was 29% and 27% over the last 2 weeks. Anything above 20% is considered elite. Last week, he caught all 4 targets lined up out wide for 113 yards. That's the most by a tight end in the next-gen stats era. It's pretty incredible. He's also productive on vertical routes with 5 targets, 5 receptions, and 139 yards. That is the most by a tight end in the last 4 seasons, and that's over 100 yards more than the next tight end behind him. And this is actually pretty great in terms of comparing him to someone as amazing as Travis Kelce. Pitts has 5.7 yards per route run against man coverage. Next closest, Travis Kelce with only 3. Pretty incredible. Thank you so much for showing up, Kyle Pitts, and just welcome to the NFL. Keep plugging along. The Falcons have really started to open up this offensive powerhouse that they have, and I think that is in large part due to Kyle Pitts' production and allowing them to move the ball down the field. And that's all you have from me today from this video, but make sure you check out our weekly segment by Brendan Tuma. He comes out with 5 burning questions every week. Check out his work this week for even more incredible information on these 5 burning stats. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click that like button. Follow us here on YouTube at FantasyPros so you don't miss out on any of the amazing content that we have coming out every single day, all season long, so that you can dominate your leagues, crush those starts and sits. Good luck in week 8.